Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Erica. Today I thought I'd go over steps for successfully putting together a quilt kit. Now I know that that might seem a little bit trite, but it's not necessarily as easy as you might think it is. I know some of you have a bunch of these just sitting in your closet like I did, and some of you may not have ever approached this before. You would think it would be easy, and it mostly is because you've got your fabrics already selected for you, but there are a few steps that you need to take in order to be successful with assembling it and getting it done and out the door. Mainly, you need to understand the pattern, you need to understand the role that all of your fabrics play, and you need to be organized. And think of your fabrics as characters in a play. Just understand where they are and what their function is, how they're supposed to be, how they feel in the quilts, okay? I know that sounds woo-woo, but it really isn't. Next, this is mind numbing, but trust me, read the pattern first, all the way through. Notice what's there and also notice what isn't there. Sometimes key pieces of information won't be there. I just put together a quilt top, or I didn't finish the quilt top yet. I just put together some blocks where the pattern didn't even indicate the size that the finished or unfinished block was supposed to be. So understand, nobody's perfect, and you're gonna need to understand where the imperfections lie in your pattern and possibly in your fabrics before you even get going on this trip. Trust me, it'll make it easier to deal with. You can deal with just about anything most of the time. All right, next, take the time to check and make sure that all of the fabrics that you need were included in the quilt. People make mistakes, and these quilt kits are assembled by people. It's possible that they made a mistake. So once you have read through your entire pattern, and you understand it, and you understand the role that each fabric is supposed to play, it should make it easier for you to go through and double check and make sure that all the pieces of the quilt that you need, all the fabric that you need is there. And if I know, like I have kits that I haven't looked at that have been sitting in my closet for 10 years, and I'm just out of luck on those, but I recommend as soon as you get a quilt kit, even if you have no intention of putting it together anytime soon, go through, read the pattern, understand the role the fabrics play, check your fabric. And then if you are missing something, you have a much better chance of getting your fabric replaced at that point in time. Because I know for a fact that some of these kits that I bought 10 years ago, those fabrics don't exist anymore anywhere. So check your stuff up front. Next. If your pattern does not include labels for all of the pieces in your quilt, then I suggest you make them. Now, some patterns do and some patterns don't. This pattern did not. And let me kind of show you. These, the pieces range from, the labels go from A to triple D on this particular quilt. So, what I did, and what I highly recommend you do, is I made my own labels. And I did this in Word. You can do this on Google Docs. You can do this on WordPerfect. There are free programs out there you can do this. I just made a 3-column table. And what I included, the information I included were the label. In this particular case, it's a letter. It's an alpha label. So I included letter. I included the size that it was supposed to be cut. I included what it was supposed to be cut from. And I included the number of pieces that I needed to be cut at that size. So anyway, I knew how many of each I needed to cut. And what I'm going to do after that is cut each of these out. So I'm going to have these little squares of paper that I'm going to label each print or set of prints, whatever it happens to be, with. Now, some of what's included in this kit is from a jelly roll. So specifying a very particular fabric out of this is not necessary. But when I'm cutting out of yardage, that's a little more necessary. So I made sure to label, okay, this is the charcoal one, or it's the dove color, or And if it had something else other than, like, if Dove wasn't the name of it, let's see, like the name was Sienna and I put in parentheses brown print, just to make sure that I understood what it was that I was supposed to be cutting. And that is a second check on this. So even though I'm going to go through my pattern and check off all of the things that I cut here, labeling it is my secondary check on making sure that I have everything that I need and it's organized and it's together. However, before you start cutting, check your errata sheets. And if you're not sure what an errata sheet is, it's something that says, okay, we made this mistake in our pattern. Now, again, I'm going to warn you, if you bought a kit 10 years ago and you think that that errata sheet is still going to exist on the web, it might not. The most recent one that I did, it didn't exist anymore. So I had to do some math, and I'll get to that in a minute. But errata sheets are oopsie poopsie, I made a mistake and here's the corrected version. So before you cut anything, make sure you check for that. Even if you think you understand the pattern, even if you think you've got everything squared away, check the errata sheet first, just to make sure. Next, and this isn't always possible. Sometimes, you know, your more elaborate quilts are not going to allow for this. But for the ones that are fairly, you know, beginning to intermediate, make an exemplar block that you can look at. So that an exemplar block is just, this is one version of 15 or one version of 8 or whatever it happens to be that I'm going to be putting into this quilt top. Have it there so you can look at it again later. You can reference it. Also, doing an exemplar block gives you an advantage. If you just cut the material that you need for the exemplar block, you can be sure to catch any mistakes that might have been made in the pattern or that you might have made yourself. Like maybe you just didn't read it right. Maybe it didn't process. Maybe it was 1:30 in the morning when you started this project. Okay. So make an exemplar block before and make sure you have every single piece. Make sure there are no real glaring errors in your understanding or in the explanation from the pattern, and you'll save yourself some headaches. So next, as I alluded to earlier, you might need to do some math. So if you don't have all the information, if your pattern isn't necessarily 100% cogent, you might need to figure it out from other cues. So for instance, a quilt top that I was working on a few months ago, 2 months ago or so, was a bunch of bat blocks. It did not indicate the size that the finished block or the unfinished block was supposed to be. And I figured out what the size was supposed to be from the side sashing. And then I extrapolated. So the side sashing, I knew how tall the block was supposed to be. And then I extrapolated from there, okay, this is about how wide it's supposed to be. And I figured it out. I don't appreciate that in a pattern necessarily. I like to know what size my block is going to be. So when I'm doing my exemplar block, I know I'm on the right track. But that being said, if you have to do some math, do it. If you don't know how to do math, or if that's not your thing and it doesn't click with you, check with another quilter friend. Somebody is going to know how to do it. I promise you, you'll find someone to help you. So just ask. All right. Once you're satisfied that you have a handle on the whole thing and the materials are all there, finish cutting and labeling your pieces thoroughly. So just again, this is sort of your third checkpoint. Make sure you've got everything. Make sure everything is labeled. Make sure you've counted it. Make sure, and even if you've done it the night before, double check it the next day when you're fresh. And then and here's the last bit. Sometimes you get these patterns, or sometimes like I've got this quilt pattern and I've got this whole quilt kit with the prescribed fabric that's supposed to go with it, right? But I'm probably going to use this pattern again, and I'm probably not going to use this same fabric line again. I'll use something else. So just for those of you who are intrepid and you plan to use this again, and you're going to use a different colorway, a different fabric line, whatever it is, make a swatch guide for yourself. So take just a little piece, and you don't necessarily, that doesn't necessarily apply to jelly rolls or charm squares or layer cakes or anything like that, because there's multiple different colors in each of these, right? But particularly for your yardage, make a swatch guide. So cut a little swatch and label it with the name of the fabric, what it is, and then what piece it's supposed to be or pieces it's supposed to be, basically. So I just get a sheet or sheets of paper, it depends on how many fabrics I'm working with, and I take some Elmer's glue or, you know, it's like some glue based it, and I'll glue a swatch down onto my piece of paper, and then I'll say, okay, this is the color, this is what it applies to, or this is the piece or the pieces that it applies to, this is where it goes in the quilt. So then you have that to reference. So when it's less likely you're going to make a mistake when you're cutting afterwards. So just understand, again, that's understanding your fabrics, your characters in your quilt. And that's basically it. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this video, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.